And we are live. You can catch us on YouTube and Rumble. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be right back with you, Howlers. We'll be right back. I'm talking like Rico. How's over Baz? I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Rico Savage.
And today we have a very special guest coming from King of the Cage. Where did you come all the way from anyways? What city? Because you came from far, huh?
I live in Montclair, so not too bad.
Oh, okay, not too bad, okay.
30-minute drive.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience? Tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
My name's Joseph Espindola. I've been training martial arts since I was 10 years old, and I just like martial arts, bro. I have a full-time job, but in my free time, it's either, work, friends, not even friends, actually. I probably hang out with like...
The fighter friends, or?
Yeah, fighter friends. Yeah, really. It's just all through the gym now that I think about it. But yeah, it's just my whole life. I would consider just martial arts and training.
When did you start?
10 years old. Jiu-jitsu. Started with jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Okay, so we just did the King of the Cage, KOTC event. I commentated, and he's coming from the fight. So what fight were you? You said you were a second fight?
I was the second fight of the night after the kids, obviously.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about your fight. Go in the mic a little more, because it's...
All right, so my fight was against Ernesto Reyes, a really, really tough opponent. It was my debut fight, and he had 2 fights above me. So I was kind of going in there a little nervous with the idea that it was someone with a little bit of experience, but I managed to mentally prep still regardless and put on a performance.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that, because you said that you were even Rampage. Tell us a little bit about all that. So what's going on with that?
Okay, so I gained a little bit of motivation the prior day during weigh-ins because I was fight. I'm nervous and all that, and after I weigh in and do the face-off with my opponent, they told us that Rampage was gonna be in the commentator booth, and I'm like, holy shit, Rampage Jackson, dude who slammed the dude in the canvas and knocked him out. I'm like, oh shit, if he's gonna be commentating my fight, I gotta show out, or at least put my heart out there. So that's just kind of what I figured. The morning of the fight, I just kind of had the idea of I'm gonna stick to my game plan that I was developing for the my fight camp, and just have my heart and just go out on my shield if I have to. That's really what my idea was for the fight.
So Rampage watched you fight, and you said you lost, right? Well, you lost by decision?
I lost by decision, and then I was like shocked myself initially, and then I started thinking, I'm like, oh shit, maybe I lost. And then next thing you know, my little brother who was in my corner and my other cornerman Jesse was telling me like, no, we think you won that fight. I'm like, I started thinking, and then I looked into the crowd, and a bunch of people started putting their hands up and they started chanting my name. I'm like, oh shit, a lot of people actually thought I won. And then I saw Rampage, and I didn't know what to do. I'm like, hey, Rampage. And then he gave me a thumbs up. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So then I went back to the locker room, and I was just thinking about it. I'm like it was kind of bittersweet. I'm like, I lost, but there was a lot of people cheering for me, and it made me feel good after I lost. And I'm like, it felt nice. So then I step out of the locker room, and it was right after they did the Hall of Fame thing where, So then Rampage was about to leave for the night. And then as he was passing by, I took a video with him. I said, hey, I won that fight, right? And then he looked at the camera. He saw I was recording, and he backed me up. He says, the judges did you wrong. And then he told me on camera. So I'm like, there you go. The seal of approval on camera. So
and you sent me a message that said you were robbed. So he thought you were robbed too, huh?
Yeah, he thought so.
I wish I was commentating that fight. I was running around, so I didn't get to see that one.
So what round do you think he took? You took?
In my opinion, like, not taking anything away from my opponent, he was a tough dude. Like, he rocked me in the second round. But in my opinion, I took rounds 1 and 3 based out of my grappling. And round 2 was what was muddy for me, is because I tried to repeat my plan from round 1, and he ended up adjusting and ended up piecing me up a little bit. I had some moments with the striking, but, tough dude. And then I ended up, at the very end, I tried finally getting one of the takedowns, and he ended up sprawling on me. And it was like, I have to win this round. Like, my idea, obviously, I have to win every round, but I'm like, I'm losing the second round. Like, I can't keep this momentum, like this downwards momentum. Ended up pulling this sit out. It's a reversal if someone has you in a headlock out of the fire, and then it was like the last 10 seconds. The next thing you know, me getting pieced up the whole fight. Now next thing you know, I'm on top of this guy, and I heard the crowd going crazy, and that was like the end of the second round, going into the third, and I was already gassed at this point. Me and him were gassed. Me and him got up super slow, and I remember going to my corner, and my little brother gave me some motivation because I was exhausted, dude. Like I was looking down because I watching the footage of the third round in the corner. I'm like I'm exhausted. Like, do I have more in the gas tank? Like, it took me a long time to get that top position. So then my little brother got in my face and he's like, you gotta pull it out of the fire pretty much. You gotta just do your game plan. So third round, I'm like, I saw in the video, I started fixing my gloves. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So I started pressing forward, putting pressure, and I ended up getting the takedown earlier that I wanted to do again in the second round. And in my opinion, I rode out, a decision win because I had top position the whole time. That's how, in my opinion, how the fight played out for me.
And then how did you want it to end? Did you want it to end by submission, or did you want it to be
submission? So in the first minute, I would say, because the game plan was to use strikes to set up my takedowns using my jiu-jitsu.
You know what? We're gonna switch this up a little.
Go for it. Go for it.
Sit right here. Sit right here. No, you can't see his face.
Okay.
On the camera. A little bit. Let me see. No, stay over here. Sorry, it's better.
Scoot in.
Sorry, my bad, dude.
Okay.
Right here. Let's see.
Jesus, Grandpa.
No, we ain't, dude. I'm gonna make sure that everything's good on this. Okay, go ahead.
And then
What was I saying?
The takedown. You said you were trying to the stand up and then
my game plan.
to soften him up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got him in a Darce choke in the first round, and it was like my game plan. I'm like, I'm a swarm him with some shots. I'm gonna get a takedown, and as soon as I get on top, I want to look for any opening for a choke. So I ended up landing a Darce choke, and he ended up squirming and freaking out a little bit, and then I was just trying to jump for submission the whole time, Charles Oliveira style.
So you would say you're more of a submission fighter?
Yeah, I would say I'm more of a grappler. I've been doing that for 13 years, and I would say in the past 5 months I've been doing striking.
Oh, okay.
And
so
the crazy thing about that is I've been practicing striking with my little brother in the front yard. That's how it started out.
Oh, really? So are you doing Muay Thai? Are you doing Dutch style kickboxing? What kind of stand up are you learning?
I'm doing Muay Thai and then doing some MMA classes. With some people that I grew up training with. So
you're not doing striking at any school? Any school?
Not
oh,
really.
Wow,
it was
man.
I've been doing literally jiu-jitsu every single day, every week, and then 5 weeks ago this fight was asked to me, like, do you want to do this? And I thought about it because I had the idea of going to Miami to compete at ADCC, a major grappling tournament. So I'm like, MMA fight, like I think I could do it. Like, I did a few ADCC matches. They're a little bit more aggressive style grappling matches. So I'm like, maybe my ADCC experience could help me. But like I said, I had 5 weeks to prepare for this fight, so I ended up reaching out to some close friends that I grew up training with who do Muay Thai and have fights under MMA, and I'm like, I want to do this. Like, I feel like I could do it. It's offered to me. When it was asked to me, I literally saw it as a moment in my life where I should take it. Like, I was not scared for some reason. Other situations, maybe in the past, I would have been like, I don't want to do this, but I'm like, screw it. Like, what's to lose? To go out in front of a bunch of people and possibly get knocked out.
Dang. So that's wild because I don't know anybody that come in like. So you're striking. You don't have much experience then. So what school did you come fighting out of? Was it a jiu-jitsu school you came fighting out of?
Yeah. So my team is Logic Laverne, and then the Muay Thai gym I was training with is Shack System. Shout out to Coach Rusty.
Oh, okay.
And
So
Jesse.
you did start going to a.
Yeah, for this, I reached out to them. So within 5 weeks, it was between fighting in the front yard of my brother, going to actual Muay Thai classes, and then some sparring MMA sessions. And probably in total, it was probably like 10, 15 sessions of training leading up for this fight.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
So,
but your jiu-jitsu must be off the chain then. If
my opinion, yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can come in, what belt are you?
Purple belt, but like I said, I've been training for 13
years. High level, low level purple belt?
I would say I'm a high level purple belt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. Well, purple belts are badass, dude.
Yeah.
They're just badass.
Was that like your first big fight?
I'm gonna be honest, that's my first fist fight ever.
So you've never been hit in the face? Well,
so here's the thing. I've gotten into one fight when I was younger, and this was like when I was already training jiu-jitsu, but I didn't want to do striking. It was like, I'm just gonna go straight to my grappling. So it wasn't until literally recently, in this point in my life, where I'm like, I haven't been hit in the face. It's just Like
It's a-
that's kind
it's
of
a
why I
possibility.
kind of started just sparring in the front yard of my brother. Like we've been just watching a lot of UFCs. Like let's go in the front yard and mess with their jiu-jitsu.
Let me just go punch him in the nose and then get in trouble with my
Yeah.
mom. Like,
That's wild, man. So like,
damn.
but your jiu-jitsu, you've been doing it for how many years then?
10 years old, he said.
12 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so and you're a purple belt right now.
Yeah.
So you're getting close to a brown belt.
I would say so. I would hope so. I mean, I've been training hard. My dad is a black belt. My mom is a brown belt, and my little brother trains as well. He's a blue belt.
So are you gonna start focusing? Because I mean, dude, your jiu-jitsu is already like up there. Are you gonna start focusing a lot on your striking now?
Yeah. So like the idea now is that now that I realize I could hang with some MMA guys, now that I actually stepped in there,
Yeah.
it's like okay, maybe in my starting to separate some of the jiu-jitsu classes fully and maybe start actually trying to strike more. Like
Yeah,
why not enhance that more?
Right. If you already got something already down packed, and then why not add something else to the chamber? You know what I mean? And
exactly.
and focus on it. And man, that's crazy. Your first fist fight, were you shitting bricks?
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. Like when I got to the locker room and hearing every time I hear the crowd roaring through the walls, I'm like, that means someone's getting hit. That's the only reason why the crowd is going crazy.
Like on Gladiator or something.
Yeah. Oh, and then it was crazy because I was in the red team the red corner locker room, and the guy who fought before me, he was all excited. He was a very good personality. He's like, I'm gonna go out there and do good. He comes back, face is all pink, bloodied up.
Scared the shit out of him.
I'm like having my hand on my head. I'm like, shit. Like, is that gonna be me? Like, fuck. I'm already deep in this now. So, when it was my turn to go up, they still had one more fight, but they had me on deck, and I was watching the fights for probably like a good 30 seconds, and then my little brother turned me around. He's like, I don't think you should like get emotional watching the fight. So I'm facing away from the.
You got a good little brother, man.
Yeah, he is. My little brother is good. So the ring was behind me, and I'm just facing away, and I'm seeing the crowd react, and I know they're having a slugfest right behind me, and I just hear the crowd going crazy. I'm like, fuck, that's about to be me, like in 30, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long was left. And as soon as it was game time to start walking, I think I was able to like tune it out a bit. I'm like, that's it. I put on my music, locked in a bit, and as soon as I stepped in the cage, it was like, that's it. I'm here. Like,
so it was one of those things like you were nervous, and then once you got hit, it was like, okay, you know what I mean? It all went away. And you just went for it.
Kind of how I treat things if I want to level up with like competing is I'll sign up for it, and now I'm locked into it. So it forces me to adapt. You know what I mean? Because if I try to adapt before I sign up, I feel like I'm a procrastinate.
Yeah.
I signed up for it. I'm like, you know what? This will force me to level up now instead of like why wait later. And that was actually the idea. When I started training with my brother in the front yard, it was like, oh, we can mess around this whole year, and maybe next year I'll do it. I ended up cutting it down to 5 months, and I'm like, I'm gonna do an MMA fight.
Wow, that's ballsy, dude.
Yeah.
That's really ballsy move. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's great that you're a purple belt. You know what I mean? I feel like just because of that, you can be more confident in there because you're gonna be a badass on the ground if you had to go against them. You know what I mean? But you're practicing your striking. It's just very hard because I trained before, so training with 15 like sessions before the fight, but dude, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Okay, when I first started MMA, would I have felt like I was ready for that? But I wasn't a purple belt either, though. You know what I mean? I didn't do any of it. I just boxed and did.
But you still been hit. But you got hit in the face already, though.
Yeah,
he never got hit in the face.
Yeah, I know.
It's different. Like, you know what I mean? Did you almost want to quit when you first got hit in the face?
Dude, no. So I got. No, actually, I didn't get hit at all the first round.
I'm saying when you were doing this stuff at the gym when you started it, and you were like, so you had to spar.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So were you like, do I really want to do this? Like, did you question yourself?
One class I really did, and I don't know if this person would end up watching this podcast, but they remember they caught me after the class. So I was really trying. Obviously, this was maybe like 2 weeks ago in the MMA like a sparring class.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm a newbie. I'm just trying my best. Like, I know I do not have clean technique, so I know that I'm not gonna be up to par with the other guys. But I know that means I have to work harder to make up for that. So in sparring sessions when we're sparring with each other, there'd be moments where they'll start piecing me up, but like I gotta make up for it, so I'll use my aggressiveness. And there was a guy, you know, who was obviously helping me by being more aggressive back. So we ended up slugging it out, and he ended up getting me with a really mean body shot. And it was like my first ever really bad body shot, and it was right
Took
at the
your
end.
airway?
It took my airway, and I wanted to puke right then and there on the mat.
I know.
And I was really holding it in. My eyes started getting watery, and I started like I was holding my stomach, and I'm like, dude, I can't act like a bitch in front of all these guys. Like I'm over here trying to represent myself, telling everyone I'm gonna do the fight, and how's it gonna look like if I'm like, oh, my stomach hurts and stuff like that. So after the class was over, he walked up to me and he was like, you know, you good? Because he can tell I was a little bit, you know, discouraged a little bit. And I told him, I just literally just told him, like, I'm just trying hard, dude. I didn't know how else to say it. Like, I'm just trying hard. Like,
That's all you can do.
yeah, that's all I can
That's all you can do.
So tell us about let's go from round to round, okay? Tell us about the first round. You said you didn't even get hit the first round.
I didn't even get hit. So I ended up just flurrying him with a lot of jiu-jitsu moves. I was jumping on darces, guillotines. I was just all over him, and I could tell he was getting frustrated. He didn't know what to do. He didn't get up once. As soon as I got him to the ground, he was stuck there the whole time. So then round 2 started, and that's when he started to get off on his game plan with the striking. And that was another moment where not quitting, but I started like getting into that doubting phase because he rocked me. I ended up actually slipping my foot because I lost my footing, and I started like losing vision for a second. And next thing you know, he was turning into 2 of them. I'm like, oh shit, this is real now. Like, yeah. Next thing you know,
this shit's real now.
As soon as he rocked me, he knew that he rocked me. So of course he started to blitz me, and I just remember everything was slow motion. Like my vision was still a little blurry, and I'm just ducking and weaving, and I'm surprised that I'm still standing. Next thing you know, boom, I shoot another takedown, and I end up using it to recover, and that was towards the end of the round. So I just had to survive the second round, and then third round was, just keep grinding.
How many takedowns did you get?
I ended up getting, I believe, 3. I believe it's 3, but each round, boom, boom, boom.
And did he get a takedown on you?
No, not once did he get on top of me, and then not once did he drop me. Even though he rocked me, I stood on my feet the whole time. Not once did he go down.
First punch.
Dude, we got a lot of people in the chat. You got a lot of people watching right now, so why don't you go ahead and read off the chat a little bit.
So we got MMA Takes podcast. Shout out to them. He's saying he's the realest.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Lorenzo Hinoas.
Oh, it's my best friend from
high school. I trained with him in high school and college.
Yeah, he's a big part. Let me just jump in and give him some credit. He's a big part of believing in me. Because actually, when I first started jiu-jitsu, the rest of my family, like I told you, my mom, my dad, my little brother trained. They're all, in my opinion, at the time, more talented than me. I was the only person who didn't compete, and that was because I really struggled really bad with a lot of self-confidence. I used to get picked on in school, which is why I joined. Well, I was put into jiu-jitsu. So leading to my friend, he always believed in me, and in free time he would let me like practice on him because we actually went to college together in Northern Arizona University. Used to snow and stuff like that. I was preparing for a jiu-jitsu tournament in Scottsdale, and I was broke college student. I didn't actually train anywhere. I would go to open mat once a week, and I used to walk through the snow to go to that open mat once a week to train for this jiu-jitsu tournament. And my friend Lorenzo, he would let me practice jiu-jitsu moves on him. So he was like, I had a few people to like really like bodies to train. Long story short, I ended up doing this jiu-jitsu tournament, and what do you know? My first person in my bracket is a world medalist from Brazil. Flew from Brazil to Arizona, and it was like my 3rd tournament ever, and I was like losing all my matches. And I was just frustrated, dude. Like, walking through the snow, like, I saw him in my bracket. I didn't think they're going to line me up with him first, but I had that in my mind. I'm like, I could face them. So, cut to the match. I ended up putting up a hell of a match. And it was actually the first time ever where I had people from the crowd ever tell me, like, good job, you did a good... Like, I ended up putting up such a fight with them and almost submitted them at some point. Me, like, literally nobody. Like, they all thought I was going to get wiped by this guy because... When he was walking out, like when I walked out, silence. When he walked out, so after that, I gained a lot of respect from people. And after that, I'm like, holy shit! Like maybe I could actually do something. And I give credit to my friend Lorenzo for always being there and supporting me.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's dope, man.
Then you got Nora.
Oh, it's my girlfriend.
Yeah, babe.
She said, yeah, babe.
Yeah, babe. The best purple belt ever.
Keep going.
That's my beautiful girlfriend.
And then you have Nora Artie. Okay, then it's basically the same people.
You have a lot of look at you have just so you can see though, man. You got damn.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people in the chat. Like
Oh wow.
a lot of support, dude.
That's cool. That's cool.
So you got a lot of people watching right now. Is there anything you want to say? Because I know there's a lot of people from the KOTC fans watching. Anything you want to tell the KOTC fans real quick?
Oh, dude, King of the Cage is awesome. Just that was my first time even watching it. I'm not gonna lie. I've heard about it. I knew that a lot of OGs fought through there. So when it was kind of offered to me, I'm like, oh, I heard a lot of big names went through there. Screw it, I'm gonna jump in there. But oh, you guys gotta watch an event. Just me being part of the event, I'm like, oh, that was a badass production. I had the best seat in the house. In my opinion.
yeah, you did. That's badass though, man. So no, go ahead. I know you want to.
Anna Marie Parr.
Oh, it's my aunt. She's a Marine. She's another badass woman. By the way, just to give her, she's the first female Marine top of class graduate in San Diego in the Marines.
Oh shit!
Damn.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
She said, "Hey, you come from a strong ass family, a family full of fighters."
Oh yeah.
Enrique, Uncle Rooster's in the house. Joey, Theo Kenny's here.
What's up, Theo?
This dude is gonna be in the UFC. Was it MMA Takes podcast? I don't know.
Do you know them?
I don't.
You know?
I don't. What's
Gabriel, Arua, Anubis, Casas. I know I'm probably saying it wrong, but Joey gonna come back strong, work on his game, and watch out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna get into. So what do you want to work on? You're striking right now. Is that what's the next game plan? Like when you walk into the gym, like after the fight, have you gone back to the gym yet?
I haven't yet.
Nothing
It's
yet?
just I've
Okay.
been still I'm better now. I could walk.
Well, it's only been a
obviously.
few days. Yeah.
I'm just trying to let my body recover because my left calf hurts because he calf kicked me, and then some muscles in my back are a little like just sore, like lifting up my arms. So just giving it a couple days.
Those calf kicks, man. A lot of people don't use those. We were just talking about
the
that.
last one.
So we had Lorenz Larkin in here. He was fighting UFC and all that. This guy's big time, right? And he was talking about how he trains in Thailand, and they don't calf kick.
Really?
So they're like
They
didn't like it.
off every time he was
fucking
calf kicking him, he was messing them all up. That's not their thing. They don't do that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Certain styles.
So just certain styles, like because I came from a background of Dutch style kickboxing. So we had Muay Thai mixed in it, but I trained in Muay Thai. So Muay Thai to me, I love Dutch. Dutch style kickboxing is just the best to me, man. I love it like so much. Muay Thai is cool. It's just different to me, you know. Like I probably because I love Dutch style so much. You should try it though, dude. The Dutch style kickboxing is insane, man. And I trained with Eddie Millis, the guy that came in. He was the one that. So I mean, it's just different ways, different cross training, different things. You know, I know you're in Reno Valley. I'm trying to think of some schools out there, but you already got your striking school you're going to, and they had your back. It sounded like you went right there, and they started just training with you.
The funny thing about that is. For good reason, they were against it at the beginning. Like, are you crazy? Like, like you're barely training striking. Like, I knew that they wouldn't take it very seriously, saying, "Oh, I'm training striking. Me and my brother in the front yard." Like, how serious?
I know it sounds like
but like, just over the course of my life, dude, just I've always self-doubted myself, and I've just reached a point where it's like, why not see what my ceiling is? Like, why not see what crazy shit I could do up until I haven't found I'm here now. I didn't think I was gonna do King of the Cage a year ago. Now I did this shit and I'm still kind of processing. I fought.
It takes a lot of balls to walk in that cage.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. All these people in the stands, I would say 90% of those people won't walk in that cage. They will never have the balls to do that. So you're on a different level than 90% of the people that are at that fight. And there's 7,000 people there.
I appreciate that.
And that's real, dude, because people just don't have those. They'll freak out, dude. They don't have those kind of balls. They don't have that kind of courage to do that. It's a whole different thing, dude. You fight. You know how it is, man. Like, it's just not like. I'm gonna tell you, dude. I was just telling the last guest this on the last show. MMA has helped me build everything around me, dude. I've owned this business. It's because of the mindset that it gave me. And I think that everybody should do some type of form of MMA somewhere in their life. Like at some point in their life, they should try it. And they need to fight, spar. I'm not saying step in the cage because sparring is just as crazy a lot of the times, But spar. I think it'll change the way you do things, change the way you think as a person. You know, and jiu-jitsu is a whole nother thing because it's a craft, you know. You're a purple belt, so I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a whole nother deal, man. Like, I love jiu-jitsu. I love it. And I used to love striking before, though. When I was younger, all I want to do was stand up and bang. I did jiu-jitsu, but I didn't want to do that when I fought. I wanted to stand up.
Yeah, stand up.
I always loved it, man.
Just bleed.
Yeah, and now I love jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? So it's just different, man. But I love that you just was a purple belt jiu-jitsu a bit like, hey, I want to fight. You know? But the thing is, though, it kind of links like, okay, you're a purple belt. It's almost like, okay, I feel like you couldn't be a lower belt and never done striking and then get in. Purple belt, I feel like, all right, you're badass enough to get in that ring and that cage. I
was banking on that. I was like, at the end of the day, that's my back pocket. I kept telling myself, I'm like, I have 12 years of grappling experience. There should be no way that this man out grapples me. It doesn't matter if an MMA rule set. I'm like, there's no way. I just had that already, and I feel like me believing that assisted me being confident, especially in that first round when I got him down. Because when I got him down, I'm like, I have him exactly where I want him. Even though I missed a Darce choke, I'm like, I can do this. Like,
well, I mean, look at Gracie, man. I mean, he went in there not striking at all, just doing jiu-jitsu. So you already have an advantage. It's a possibility, really. Like, you can go in there and you can still get him.
Yeah.
You know, so I look at that as being a purple belt. Like, if you're gonna do it, you better at least be a purple belt. You know, I can't see it being a blue belt going in there with no striking, but a purple belt, yeah, I could see that. So, I mean, I think that's really cool, dude. It's kind of, I don't even know what to think about it, dude. I'm just like, dang, dude.
First time, I wouldn't.
No striking skills.
And then in front of all those people, too. Like, because like how Lorenz was saying, the UFC fighter before, he was saying is, the people who say they don't get nervous, is you're a liar. Like, it's no way. And then if you to do something for the first time, but you said you sign yourself up to hold yourself accountable, because so you got to be comfortable. Got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Who was the most nervous for me? I would say it was my younger brother. My younger brother is 18, and what's crazy about this
is he bigger than you?
He's taller than me.
I'm gonna say, is your little brother the bigger? Okay.
Yeah, but what's crazy is that 1 week. So a week ago from the fight, so last weekend, my brother was in Paris, and he was watching the UFC fights in Paris, and we watched Brian Battle fight, and he had a badass speech, and he was talking about in his speech about how a lot of people doubted him his whole life, and I started looking into his backstory and about him being like 300 plus pounds and stuff like that, and I don't know, I just saw all of these things as little signs leading up to my fight. I'm like, a lot of these people who have pulled themselves out of like some dark places can do some crazy shit. Like these French people thought this American wasn't gonna do anything, and he ended up beating him in their hometown. So I use that as motivation, especially for this fight.
I don't even know what's going on with this guy. Recently, is he talking about? Does anybody call you Joe, or is it just?
Yeah, some people call me Joe.
So you don't know who he has to know you then, man. MMA podcast. But it sounds like he's talking mess, but he must know you. Maybe he's just a friend talking crap. I don't know.
Let me see.
Read some of the stuff. Okay, go ahead.
Bad mess? Let's see.
Did he kick you in the head? The guy, your opponent?
He tried to go for a head kick. Yeah, I think he did, but I blocked it.
Well, he said he almost kicked your head off.
Oh, is that him?
Joe don't swing, he pummels.
Is that my opponent?
I don't know. Bro? It could be.
Joe loves nothing. Joe loves nothing more than being on top of a dude. Like maybe just behind.
That's probably
maybe
him.
Being behind him. Have you snapped somebody's ankle?
I have. Yeah.
Joe, he said Joe snapped my ankle once.
Oh.
I don't even know.
I think I know who that is.
Joe snapped my ankle.
Is he a friend of yours or no?
No comment on that. I think I know who it is, but I don't know.
There's a lot of weird trolls and haters that come on.
Yeah,
this, man.
I'm kind of used to it.
What do you want to say to him? You want to say something to him? Talk crap. We don't care.
There must be a reason why I broke your leg, bro. But I don't know.
That's weird. That's so weird, dude. That's why I'm like MMA.
It's all love though in competing. I mean, I have no malice to anyone. I don't hate any of my opponents. So whatever happened on the mat, as it is what it is. I have my losses too. So.
And then your boy Lorenzo said he's probably the wrestler from college, Joe.
Oh.
I don't know. Nora block him high.
Tell us the story.
Enrique rematch.
I'm not sure why that guy would have malice to me. I'm not sure what he's referring to with that. In my opinion.
And he loves me. Well, how about this? MMA podcast? What's your name?
Yeah, if you're gonna be talking all this mess, dude, why don't you say your name? Because
reveal yourself.
if not, you don't got no balls, dude. I'm just letting you know.
Keyword.
And then 2, we're gonna block you. So I mean, unless you want to show up and fight. Not just playing. Collar choked me. Collar choked me in class.
You must know him. He must be a friend of yours, dude.
I don't know. It was a little bit of a weird.
Yeah, just at this point, either say your name or shut up. Like,
Yeah, we'll leave it alone now, man. And one last thing, though. You want to say anything to him?
Nah.
Nah?
Yeah, let's move on with the pod. I don't know.
But yeah, anyways, great. Yeah. You what fighters do you look up to? Like pro fighters?
Max Holloway. I
Yeah.
watched him at UFC 300 too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his whole speech, I knew he was gonna win. I actually bet on him too. I figured because do you remember like a lot of people thought that Max was gonna lose to Justin Gaethje.
Uh-huh.
So I remember watching an interview like a week before. He said something about like don't put a limit on me, and he was going off about like why would you put a ceiling on someone else's dreams just because they want to achieve something? I'm like, he's low-key spitting like why is he as a fighter gonna let other people tell him that he can't beat this guy? Like I started thinking about it. I'm like, despite the odds, like if you really do think you're gonna do it, then why not? And I used that as another form of motivation for this this fight that I had. I'm like, you know what, this guy, he's bigger than me. He was like 6'2". I'm like 5'8". He had the reach advantage. He had the striking advantage. He had the more fight experience than me. And I said, screw it. Still, let's just go out there.
So did you know about this guy before the fighter before you even like went out to even close to even to the King of the Cage?
I didn't, and all I got was like a basic description about him. I just saw that he was 6 something.
Probably what we saw in the commentary booth, like because when I came on, they gave us it's a little description. I bet you it's the same thing.
Yeah,
they gave you.
So I saw that, and I just like, all right, yeah, I'll accept it.
You're like, hey, I love your attitude, man.
Yeah,
because I feel like you got to be like that in order to just say, hey, I'm gonna go out there and fight. Because it's not easy, dude. People that are going to talk all the mess that they're going to do will never understand it. They're always going to be spectators, man. And that's the thing. So it's like we don't even care what people like that say because they'll never understand. Yeah. They can't. They even to take a punch, dude. People just don't even know how to take a punch. I mean, people curl up all crazy. I mean, you know how it is, dude.
I wanted to avoid that so bad. When I told you I got rocked in the second round and I lost my footing,
never felt that before.
I never felt that. I mean, I got rocked in sparring, but I was rocked in this. Like, this guy's actually trying to knock me out. Yeah. It's not like in sparring where you stop. Yeah. Like as soon as he rocked me, I saw him like charging me. I'm like, oh, here it comes. I'm not gonna fall to the ground, but I just gotta stand up as long as I can until.
That's crazy because a lot of people. I mean, I've even seen it like when even on like street fighting, like the ones who are scared. I've seen them knock somebody out in their first fight because they're so scared. Yeah, you know what I mean. But you stood up with them. You know what I mean. That says a lot about your character. And I mean, you can do it.
I saw a funny quote. I forgot where, but it was something saying that scared fighters are the scariest fighters.
They're dangerous because
you
know what I mean.
You have no idea.
They're dangerous.
So I don't know. I feel like I low key lean that way. Not going in there like I'm terrified, but I feel like because of that amped up energy I'm going in with, I feel like it does give me an edge because I feel like I've had the best moments sometimes that I could do like in competition, and I can't recreate it in sparring. If that makes sense, like there's moments where I could bring something
in the moment.
I could bring something out of me that I could only do when I'm like actually in the moment.
That's the athlete in you for sure.
Probably
that's the athlete in you because all of a sudden like your skill, like it does something. Even if you feel like you've never done it in training, but when you're fighting for your life, it's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're literally fighting, like you feel like you're fighting for your life.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
And then Aurora said Joey's ground game is no joke. Rolls with bigger opponents and destroys.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
It's badass. Yeah. So how's your ground game? Are you like really fast or I'm trying to wonder because I'm looking at your size. I'm like, are you one of those guys that just completely on them the whole time?
I would exactly say so. I kind of embody it. My shorts. I had flame shorts. I don't know. I've always been I like the idea of being fast. So over the years, I've been known as. Well, when I started jiu-jitsu, just to give a little bit more backstory to that, it was mainly all adults. I was like the one kid, going with all the adults, and the adults didn't care. Like my old school instructor was like, he's gonna have to be with one of the men. So I would get like pummeled, and there would be even moments where I felt like crying in class because they would take me down like I'm a grown man. Like I'm talking about like I'm 15, and these dudes are judo flipping me, slamming me.
So like
to the
these
ground.
bullies in school bullying you? Is that what that was?
Well, and I was getting bullied, like I'm talking about from like kindergarten to like 3rd grade, and then I got into jiu-jitsu like 5th grade, around there.
How many times we hear that from fighters?
Yeah.
Like it's almost a trend when fighters come in here. At some point, they were even Eddie. Eddie was bullied as a child. Yeah,
because normally it's not. I mean, for MMA fighters, what you guys do and what they do, that's humanly it's not normal to cage yourself in somewhere and you fight and fuck each other up. That's not normal. So something has to like go on in your head for you to either want to do it or have to do it, meaning protect yourself because you got bullied, or it makes you, or you just like that shit. You know what I mean? It takes certain people. Not everybody can do it.
Even when I told some of my family, like even though I know they believe in me, some of them are even like, "You're fucking crazy." Like,
yeah, you can't be normal doing that shit.
I know you can do some shit, but like, are you serious? You just wanna? I'm gonna go into a cage and fist fight someone.
But you know how many times are you gonna get the opportunity to fight and kick in the cage too?
That's what I thought.
You know,
I didn't go looking for it. It kind of came to me. Like someone asked me, like, "Do you want to fight?" I had no idea. Like I was going about my day at work. Like I answered the phone and they're like, "You want to do this?" I'm like, you want me to fight? Like I'm over here in my work uniform and shit like that. Yeah.
That's great though, dude. That you're just like, yeah. I'm gonna do this, and a lot of times, even in business. Well, I'm saying in business and anything, dude. Most people think you're crazy when you're trying to do something
until you do it.
Yeah, it's just the way it is, dude. And now that people are like seeing, oh damn, this dude can hang. Like maybe we should back him. People are gonna think that now. There's a lot of people there. And there's a lot of people that are gonna be like, "Hey, who is this kid?" You know what I mean? Especially if Rampage is even saying you got robbed, this and that. Yeah. I would hold on to all that.
I'm surprised you remembered my name because that message that you saw in my story that was today, so that was like already a couple days, and my name is still fresh in Rampage's head because he answered my friend's DM.
Dude, when he was commentating, I commentated with him. I think for 3 fights. He was very observant on the fighters. He was even to the point where he was like, this guy looks like a pothead. Like he was just talking mess. It was funny, dude. But yeah, he's very observant when it comes to this because it's his craft. It's like walking for him, breathing for him. You know what I mean?
That's why I was so happy when he said that. That almost flipped it for me because I was like I said, it was bittersweet knowing that the crowd is still cheering for me, but it still wasn't enough because it's not the official W on the paper. And it wasn't until Rampage talked to me and I took that little video and he said it. You could even see it on the camera. I didn't even notice it, but I cracked a big smile when he said that you won that. So I'm like, the OG right there said it. Like,
yeah, it was your first fight, but you know you can't leave it to the judges, man. It's always like that. They always say that. Don't leave it to the judges because, dude,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But it doesn't matter because every fighter, even if it's a really painful loss, if it could have been a worse loss, you still got to come in stronger. You got to. Hey, I got to train harder now. I got to come in stronger. I know what areas I got to work in. That's all that means in any sport. As in any athlete. So, I mean, all it is it's like this last guy that came in. He had a draw, right? Mm-hmm. But he's even like, hey man, I don't give a damn. It was a win for me. That was my first time. It was his first time too. And he's like, it was a win for me. I got to see where I'm at. I got to see what I do. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing, dude. Like now you just go back, you work on the stuff you need to work on, and you just get ready for the next one. Yeah. You know what I mean? Are you looking to fight again in King of the Cage?
Yeah, I mean, I had the idea where I didn't want to plan ahead more fights, like focus one at a time. So I took the fight, and I had the idea, well, I'll see how I looked like after, then I'll take it from there. But after I won, at least in my book, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll get one more, another one more.
Do you want to make this a career?
That's the thing. I don't know. I just kind of take my tournaments and this like one step at a time. Like even since I'm doing jiu-jitsu kind of seriously, like the ADCC scene is pretty huge. Like that grappling scene is huge, and there's even like some UFC fighters who are leaving ADCC. I believe Cody Steele is a really good ADCC athlete, and he was just on Dana White's Contender Series. He was in a fight Alex Pereira's former opponent who actually beat Pereira. And this guy got scared of this dude from ADCC. Like, he actually pulled out the day of the fight and said that he was, like, getting super nervous. So I'm like, holy shit, this dude who competes in the same thing that I do can intimidate people with grappling. I'm like, shit, why not?
Oh, you can, dude. I mean, if It's okay. So when I used to train, I used to practice really hard on getting back. I didn't want to be on the ground, even though I was decent at jiu-jitsu. I didn't want to be on the ground. So my whole game plan was always to get back up. So I was training to learn how to get back up. But if you don't do that, you are screwed. This guy's gonna sit on top. I don't know how many fights I saw King of the Cage where the dude's literally on full top mount, just beating the crap out of them, and they got nothing to say about it. They can't do anything. They have no way of bumping them off. They're not trying anything like that. They don't know how to do it. So it is dangerous. Like for a purple belt to come in there, you have an advantage. You know, when it comes to that, especially if these guys don't know how to get up, if they don't know how to maneuver, they don't know how to do any of that. You got an advantage, dude. But at the same time, if they're a good striker, and you haven't taken, because I saw a lot of guys not. Like because I was commentating, I'm like, hey, this guy's a purple belt, but he's not trying to take this guy down. And this guy's a striker, and you can see the dude getting like beat up bad. I'm like, why is he not? Why is his game plan standing up? You would think you try to take him down, but his game plan was to stand up. It looked like because he wasn't even trying. And then they end up having a slug match. You know what I mean? So it just depends, I think, on the fighter a lot of the times.
So many people were warning me about that because they knew that obviously I was going to be very passionate training the striking aspect for I did mostly striking these past 5 weeks when I got called for this fight. So I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm going to obviously give it my all. But then I had a lot of people telling me, like, you better not abandon your grappling. Like, don't think that just because you're doing the striking that you're going to... And for good reason, they're telling me that. But I had the idea that if I go to these sparring classes, let myself get hit, that's going to decrease the fear of stepping in. I really thought about it like that. Like, I knew I wasn't going to catch up to these guys in 5 weeks. I saw it as in the more I go, the less fear... that little fear meter is going to drop because I keep showing up to the classes.
Yeah. You got to, I mean, the whole point is not to get it. We know that. But yeah, it's.
It helps to experience it at least.
Because you don't want to curl up. That's the thing. The curl up effect is a real thing. I've seen so many badass dudes, and they don't get hit because they're always beating everybody up. But as soon as they get hit they curl up, dude. And it's like, what the heck was that? Like, you know what I mean? So I've seen a lot of that, man.
And then the hygiene machine. I'm guessing this is your mom.
That's my mom. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, son. Thank you for making me proud. Hardworking, honest, respectful, and courageous.
Shout out to my mom. She's a IBJJF World Master Champion Jiu-Jitsu.
Black, you said black belt, right?
She's brown belt.
Brown belt?
My dad's also IBJJF World Master Champion.
When you're a brown belt, you're basically a black belt, dude. That's how, like, the brown belts are...
She will armbar the fuck out of you.
Yeah, she would, dude.
Oh, no, dude, my mom's scary. She actually intimidates other men. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
She's not a woman to mess with. I hope she's laughing at that because she knows I'm right, too.
Brown belts are no joke, dude.
So that's crazy. So if... Growing up like that, all your family was your aunt. That's a Marine. She's a fighter, and then
she took up fighting like when she went to the Marines. But it was crazy because from what I understand with her story, she didn't really train like that beforehand. When she went to the Marines, she just relied on being a tough girl. She actually ended up being like the top of her class for the females combatives or whatever like that. She was beating on all the girls just out of just being just tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Can you tell us about it or how it started? So you got bullied and your parents was like, hey, let's put him in jiu-jitsu?
So my parents, they put me...
Was there a big situation that happened, though, for them to put you in? Like...
Kind of. It's because, going back to what I was telling you guys about me not having a lot of confidence is, when I was getting picked on in school, I was really struggling on just making friends or just being social in general.
Was it like a group of people, like same people?
It started off with, a couple kids who would pick on me, and then it escalated as in, they're actually the popular kids, too. So because the popular kids would make fun of me, the other kids would tag along just because,
And then they ended up getting physical? Basically.
They got physical one time, and it was like the part of the escalation part that got my parents to put me in martial arts. I remember I was in the playground, literally minding my business, just straight up not messing with anyone. I was on the swing, and next thing you know, one of the kids pushes me off the swing, and not beating me up, but they just like 3 or 4 of them. They all just started shoving me to the ground, and I remember the playground was wood chips and stuff like that. So I got all dirty, and I just kind of got clowned on in front of everyone, and it was embarrassing, of course. So I remember coming home emotional to my mom, and for those next few months after that situation, my parents were like, "We got to do something with this kid." My dad was a big UFC, big UFC fan. My grandpa was a boxer. My uncle was doing a little bit of MMA at the time. So they're like, you know what? Let's put this kid in jiu-jitsu. I started along with my little brother, and next thing you know, my parents followed suit. It changed their lives too. My parents are actually heavy, to nicely put it, when they started, and they lost hundreds of pounds. So I don't know. It changed all our lives. It changed my family's life. Changed my life.
But they all went in at the same time. You guys all started together.
They followed like 6 or 7 months after I did, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all kind of just started that year, and then it took off from there. We all started training.
Jiu-jitsu is like an addiction. That's why. Like when you start doing it, you start dreaming about it and everything. I literally would have dreams about doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I got super obsessive, especially when I was in college. That when I was preparing for that tournament, I'm talking about like I even skipped out on social life instead of going to parties at some point, where I would go home, instead of going out with like girls and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm gonna go on my laptop and watch YouTube instructional and sit there for hours. It was either homework, I was working at Papa John's, I was going to school studying, come home, instructional, train with my friend Lorenzo, and then next thing you know, I did that tournament I told you against that medalist. So I'm like, shit, I did something. Yeah.
Do you see that video that was like on Instagram or something, where the guy's supposed to be in the shower talking about jiu-jitsu, and he's like, yeah, babe, I was there, and his girl's in the mirror crying because she's like,
oh yeah, I know exactly what people are talking about. Yeah. Sometimes my girl's even like, all you talk about is jiu-jitsu.
it's like an obsession, dude. Because my brother right now, he's doing it. I've been out of it for a little bit, but my brother's doing it right now, and this fool just will not shut up about it to his girl, and his girl's just like, oh my god, I can't stand this anymore. But it is what it is, like that. When you're doing jiu-jitsu, it's like you become obsessed. I had a buddy that's doing it. He just became a brown belt, but shout out to Jim. His wife would see him like doing like this in the middle of the night.
What?
Like he would be doing jiu-jitsu with his hands in the middle of the night. That's how like obsessed people become with it.
I don't remember that in my curriculum. I don't know what move that was.
I don't know, but he was like trying to do like moves in the middle of the night, like, and he was like, "What the heck?" She goes, "Yeah, you were like practicing jiu-jitsu in the middle of the night."
Lorenzo said he would always call me, saying, "Hey, can I try this new technique I learned?"
Oh yeah, he would be coming home like he's having his own personal college life, and here's me harassing him like, let me put you in a headlock real quick.
Hey, that's a real friend though, man.
Yeah, no, he was always there for me, dude. I remember there's a move I used to this day, a judo throw, and I used to throw him in our little dorm room, like on the hardwood floor. Like I didn't have mats, like I said, I was broke, so it was just like put little blanket on the floor, just try stuff on him, and just made it happen with the resources that I had.
Yeah. She said, Nora, jiu-jitsu really is every other sentence that comes out of his mouth.
That's your girl, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. Hey, you're still here, though.
It's like that meme where it's like, he must be thinking about other girls, and the guy's laying in bed thinking about like jiu-jitsu and shit like that. Yeah.
You're a purple belt, though, man. So, yeah, I can see that, dude, because that means you've been obsessed with it for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So okay. Now, what do you tell a little bit of people about like the background of you? Besides, like, what are you doing? I know you got a normal, regular 9 to 5, right? What do you do besides jiu-jitsu? I'm
an electrical apprentice, but specifically the field that I'm in is I install like solar, and then I install like battery equipment, so stuff for like Tesla, things like that. So
you're in a trade. That's good.
Yeah, I'm in a trade.
You're a trade. Trades, I feel like, are the big money makers because AI is taking over everything, huh?
Yeah, even with me doing this trade, like I'm outside, like on the side of the house, and I'm like the sun is beaming on me. So especially for this fight too, like I'm doing 45 plus hours a week, sometimes 50 if it's like a lot of hours, and I gotta make up ways of training and like any way. So like it was like I remember 2 weeks ago I was in Desert Hot Springs, and it was like 110 degrees, but I was so motivated just to fight this damn guy where I made it a goal every day. Except for Sunday, to give my body a rest, I would do 100 plus push-ups a day, just as much as I could. So it was like 110 degrees, like the sun is beaming on me, and I'm like, right here, it's time for the next set of push-ups. Boom.
You're in a zone, dude.
I was in the zone. Yeah. Dude. I just really wanted to win, just any possible way I can. Whether that means just doing push-ups, as dumb as that sounds. I'm like, it's something to do. It makes me stronger, and I know it'll mentally make me tougher doing it in the sun and sweating and all that stuff.
So you said you don't know if you want to make this a career or not. So what would you see yourself doing if you say like if you did stop for a certain amount of time? What do you see yourself doing in the future? It's
crazy because I actually had this talk with my boss because I told him about this fight, and he's like he sees me, like I know I look like an unassuming person. I probably don't look like to most people, like I do martial arts. He's like, you're gonna go into a cage and fight like 5 weeks from now, and he sat me down and he's like, so like what's your plan, like are you about to take off on us? I'm like, honestly bro, like I just want to work, provide for myself, buy things that I like, and then also at the same time with whatever free time I got, just do as much as I can with my passion. I'm not really trying to force myself like I gotta be in the UFC in 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm just literally it's like every step as it comes. Just whatever next fight happens, who knows? I didn't think this was gonna happen. I didn't think I'd be doing a damn podcast here, but now I'm doing this, so I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
We appreciate you for coming.
We'll see the next step. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're kind of just taking life as it comes right now.
Yeah, and I feel like that's honestly mentally made me better as a person. Because back then I used to always really stress about the future, like tests 2 weeks from now, whatever. Just always worrying. But with this, forcing myself to compete, I feel like having that, like, I'd rather take a test now than fight someone, if that makes sense. I feel like putting myself under this type of pressure makes the rest of life a lot easier. So especially with this fight now, I almost feel like a little bit extra liberated. I don't even know how else to describe it. But I feel a lot more confident.
You probably have feel like a lot's off your shoulders right now, huh? You feel light, huh?
Yeah, like a lot of the weight. Like I was telling my girlfriend the night before the fight. Like usually I sleep like a baby. I'm like a rock. As soon as my eyes close, I knock out. Like I'm a deep sleeper. I was so nervous about the fight the night before that I literally sweated like the shape of my body on my bed in the morning.
Damn.
I was profusely sweating, and on top of that, my house's AC was on. It was like 76. So I spent the whole night tossing and turning and profusely sweating, and I'm like, shit, even my body knew and like sleeping that like it's go time.
Yeah, that's wild. We're running out of time, but I do want you to look at the camera, and if you want to say anything to the audience, doesn't matter what it is. You got anything to say to the audience?
Follow your dreams, no matter if people think you're stupid or not. I wanted to do this fight, even though people didn't think I'd make it. Probably thought I would get knocked out, but boom, sitting here.
There it is.
Made it happen.
There it is. Never give up.
And one last thing. So, what if strip everything away, everything you do? What would your heart tell us of who you are? Who you are as a person?
I want to grow to be someone who I want to be, but I'm a badass. I feel
You're
like
a badass?
I'm a badass.
That's cool. I like that. So our slogan is Shed the Sheep. So if you can look at the camera on 3 and say Shed the Sheep. 1, 2, 3. Shed the sheep. How's over Baz. I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Rico Savage.
Go ahead. You want to
Joseph Espindola.
And you know what? We are out. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Subscribe, please. Everybody in chat, subscribe.